one of the cons to the food here in Italy, because Italy has its own unique cuisine, it's worldwide recognized, known, and appreciated. It's almost like they head honchos when it comes to food. So when you are living here in Italy, there's not a lot of variety in different cuisines that aren't Italian, especially here in Naples. When it comes to food in the northern cities, they do sprinkle in a few more cuisines that are not Italian, but south, you in Italy, baby, you gonna eat our food. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa if you're new here, and y'all, I want to talk to y'all about something that I love, and that is food. I love food so much. Love food. I've been trying to lose weight for like the last month, and the hardest part about losing weight is because of the food. And one of the best places in the world that has some of the best food in the world is the place that I am currently calling home, which is Italy right now. Italy has some of the best food ever, but I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first moved here, I was not a fan of the food. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, first and foremost, thank you. If you're not, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. But if you have watched a lot of my content before, then you probably remember I've said this thing 1 or 2 times before in the past. Whereas I've noticed here in Italy, like they season their food, but I feel like they focus on just using very simple and fresh ingredients here. And I bring up those differences because I feel like when we came here, just hearing how great Italian food is, we were expecting to go out to restaurants and like the food just be mind-blowing, and it's been good, but it hasn't been something that has like blown us away, underwhelmed at times. Yes, when I first moved here, I was completely underwhelmed and not impressed by the Italian food. I definitely thought it was overhyped. But after living here for 1.5 years now, my perspective has changed. So I wanted to have a conversation and discuss the American food versus the authentic, real deal Italian food, just to kind of break down and share some of the misconceptions between the two, and to get you primed and ready for either when you move out here or when you come visit, so that you are completely aware that, hey, don't come over here with that mindset that when you eat Italian food in Italy, that is gonna taste the same as American Italian food. When you come to Italy and eat authentic Italian food, right off the bat is the quality and the freshness of ingredients. Oh my gosh. I will say when I first moved here, I did not appreciate the quality and the freshness of the ingredients used to prepare the food, because I'm so used to back home in America, like everything being like extra oomph and pizzazz. But here in Italy, like they don't focus on all the extraness. They focus on like, look, if you're gonna order something, we're gonna make sure you have that thing that you request, and it's going to be with fresh, good quality ingredients. So when I first came here, I thought the pasta was bland. I just thought it was some noodles boiled in some water with some tomato sauce and a little leaf of basil. And that kind of turned me off from eating the food. However, now it's like, man, I really appreciate just the simplicity of it, to the point that like when I am home and I cook pasta, I'm starting to like just look, keep it simple, keep it cute, keep it simple. Let's just not come with all the extraness. In the US, we all know that the US is very, very liberal and does not have as many restrictions on what genetically modified things food companies can and cannot do to the food. So that does impact the quality and the taste of things. I also will say that like Italian food focuses on the freshness of things. American foods, I feel like there's a larger emphasis on the taste and what can we do to kind of add some oomph and pizzazz to the food. I also have a sneaky suspicion that, again, talking about the quality and the freshness of food, I would love if anyone who is born and raised from Italy could tell me what are the statistics and the data when it comes to like diabetes, high blood pressure, like all of these chronic medical issues. Like, what is the statistics and the data here in Italy? Because I to this day still find it interesting that like back home, they talk about, hey, it's not good to start your day off, to start your morning after you've woken up with like a whole bunch of sugar. It's not good that if you're hungry to the first thing you start eating is anything that is like high in sugar, because that spikes up your whatever level. I'm not a doctor, y'all. They always talk about you shouldn't eat a whole bunch of fried stuff back home. They always talk about, you know, you shouldn't have a whole bunch of carbs. Like it should be balanced between carbs, protein, and starchy vegetables. Like these are all the things that they talk about back home. And I think all that is true, but I find it so interesting here that like, it is not outlandish to go to a pizzeria here in Italy and see pizza with potatoes on it, carbs on top of carbs. And I don't hear anyone talking about high blood pressure, diabetes. I'm not seeing individuals who are like morbidly obese. Here in Italy, they make pasta with potatoes. They fry almost everything. I was actually shocked because I thought we Americans were the lover of fried food, and we were the ones that's like, oh, fried pork chops, fried Oreos, fried chicken, fried okra. Like I thought we fried everything. But coming here to Italy, like they fry everything. And I don't hear anyone talking about all these chronic health diseases that are linked to food. So again, my theory, my sneaky speculation is that a part of the reason why we're not hearing the same diseases that are so prevalent and running rapid that we as Americans face back home based on our diet is because the Italian government has in place on what can be included in the food, how genetically modified the food can be. The next stark difference is the portion sizes here. The portion sizes are smaller, but you do get a lot. One thing I actually love about eating out here in Italy, the food in the menu is set up in courses. So you have your appetizers, your first course, your second course, and then like your after dinner desserts, coffee, things of that sort. Each course, it's done in phases. The idea is that when you're going out to eat here, you're eating with family. So again, you're spending quality time together. So there's not this sense of like, get them in, get them out. Get them in, get them out. No, like to, you know, enjoy yourself and spend time with family and eat some good food. I will say when I first got here, I did feel like the food was a lot because you're eating all of these courses. Now that I kind of view eating the food here as like a dance, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Instead of me trying to like, I think I was still trying to approach food like I did in America. Like, oh, let me eat all this. And then it's like, oh my gosh, more is coming. Okay, I gotta eat all this, to where I was like eating too much. It's like, you know what? You bring me the appetizers, I'm sharing it with my husband, my daughter, you know, we're eating it, we're trying it, we're having conversation. And then it's like, okay, we'll chill and wait for the next course. But on the flip side, back home in America, when it comes to eating, courses are not a thing. The experience eating in the US is very much like you're going to go to a restaurant and a place, and the understanding is you're gonna have one meal, and that meal is going to be a large portion size. Let me not say huge, but depending upon where you go, it can be very, very big. But the portion sizes are big to where you almost may not want to get an appetizer, because depending upon where you're going, the meal in itself can be super large, that it's like, man. And even the appetizers can be super large, that you order an appetizer, then by the time your meal gets here, it's like you're done. You don't want to eat anymore. Because there's a culture of like fastness, quickness, get in, get out. Oftentimes when you go to a restaurant in the States, it's like, you know, there's just an urgency to go eat your food and don't camp out for too long. I think a part of that also, not only is that like a part of the culture, but because we know that when it comes to restaurants back home, there's more staff there, and the wages that the waiters and waitresses get are not a living wage, and so they make money oftentimes off of tips. So my thought process, again, I've never been a waiter, but the thought process is, if I have a table who's staying here and camping out for, you know, 3 hours, having an appetizer and one course, going to take a smoke break just to come back and sit down, I'm not making that much money off this table. Whereas like if I can get this table in and out, you know, I can get like a $15, $20 tip. Look, I haven't tipped in a while, y'all, so if that's a low tip, My apologies, but if one table is willing to give me a $20 tip if I get them in and out, then I could possibly make another $20 if I get the next table out. So it's the sense of like get in, get out, get in and get out, get as many people in and out, so that as a waiter or waitress, you know, I can make more money because I'm getting paid mostly off of tips. Snack break, y'all. Another thing that differentiates American cuisine from authentic Italian cuisine is that wherever you visit, their spin on the cuisine is going to be different from other regions. Again, recently, my family and I, we did a food tour in Rome. It was such a good time, but something as tried and true to Italy, but is completely different from Naples than Rome, is pizza. The Neapolitan pizza is way different than the pizza in Rome. The spin and the take on cuisine here in Italy is going to vary based on what region of the country you are in. And I enjoy that. It makes for like, you know, a different way to experience the city or the region that you're in. Now, one of the cons to the food here in Italy compared to the US is because Italy has its own unique cuisine, it's worldwide recognized, known, and appreciated. It's almost like they head honchos when it comes to food. So when you are living here in Italy, there's not a lot of variety in different cuisines that aren't Italian. And that has been a struggle. Living here is like when you go out to eat, your options are just mainly Italian food. Occasionally you got sushi, but it's literally Italian and sushi. That's it. Especially here in Naples, there's a difference between North Italy and South Italy. And from my perspective, when it comes to food in the northern cities, they do sprinkle in a few more cuisines that are not Italian, and those restaurants and those places are nice. But South, you in Italy, baby, you gonna eat our food and we don't care. That's kind of how it feels. Like you go down south, you are not going to find a whole bunch of other cuisines outside of Italian. Like there's diversity in regional cuisine in Italy, but there's not diversity in like worldwide cuisine in Italy. Compared to the US is a melting pot. Let me know what is a unique, only American food that has no influence from other countries. Like, I don't think there's much. I don't think there's just this one inherent tried and true American cuisine. The only thing I can think of that is tried and true American, you're not gonna get it from anywhere else, is like Southern food. But even then, some of the sprinkles of Southern food, like we think about macaroni and cheese, like I don't think that's not a cuisine or a food that was born in the US and other people have taken it and put their own spin on it in other countries. Like I'm almost certain macaroni and cheese came from somewhere in Europe and we got a hold of it, was like, hold up now, we can do this a little bit better. I will say macaroni and cheese back home in the States. I've had macaroni and cheese in Italy and I've had it in Germany. It's not touching US macaroni and cheese, especially down south. US macaroni and cheese. We have regional cuisines, but nothing is uniquely American. And so there's a lot more diversity in our cuisine and our cuisine options. If you go to any state in the USA, I guarantee you're gonna have a Mexican restaurant, you have a Chinese restaurant, shoot, you may have an Indian restaurant, you definitely have an Italian restaurant. Like there are so many different options. You have a Southern fried place. Like now it may not be good, it may not be the best, but you will have options compared to like being here in Italy. You really just have Italian food. So lastly, let's talk about some of the real comparisons between American Italian food and like authentic Italian food. You know, that was kind of initially the intentions of this video, but look, I had to compare like American food and Italian food in general, but now I want to get to the specifics. So first things first, when you come to Italy, do not expect to get spaghetti and meatballs together. That is not a thing. Typically, meatballs are served separately from spaghetti. And crazy thing, I just put 2 and 2 together. I've been living here for a year and a half, and I have always, like, they've always served meatballs and spaghetti or meatballs and pasta separate, but it wasn't until recently that someone was like, yeah, that's actually, like, it's not common for Italians to serve meatballs and spaghetti together. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I never get them together. Here, when I eat meatballs, it's always served almost as like a form of a appetizer. That, again, separate from pasta, and then pasta comes out as the first course. So something else to be aware of, American pepperoni pizza is pizza with salami. Here in Italy, do not go ask for pepperoni pizza when you go to a pizzeria coming to Italy. Pepperoni actually means pepper in Italian, and not like black pepper, but bell pepper. So if you ask for pizza, pepperoni pizza, you'll get a pizza with like actual bell peppers on it. So if you want pizza with like salami, then you say, oh, I want pizza with salami. But honestly, another thing is, most of the times when we order pizza, there's not meat on it. Not saying it's uncommon, but I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, the standard pizza is like pizza without any meat. So like in Rome, they said like the standard pizza for them is like pizza rosa. Y'all, look, I'm trying to get better at my Italian. So if you all heard me and you thought I said pizza, like that I said pink pizza, let me know. But I feel like I said, I emphasize it's pizza rosa. But yes, that means red pizza, and it's literally pizza with tomato sauce on it. And then margherita pizza, which is like, I think every city has their own version of it, but it is from tried and true Naples. I feel like the standard pizza here in Italy does not have meat on it, and your specialty pizza has meat on it. Whereas like in the US, your standard kind of basic, economical, affordable pizza is cheese and pepperoni / like salami pizza. And then everything after that is specialty. So back in the States, you've got like Philly cheesesteak, you've got meat lovers, you've got veggie pizza, and the most non-Italian pizza ever, but Hawaiian pizza. They do have specialty pizza, but it's really, I feel like the specialty pizza further emphasizes local ingredients and things that are like grown and readily accessible and available here in Italy. So one of the specialty pizzas that I have seen that I have not tried, for me, it does not appeal to me, but I have seen it over and over again in pizzerias, is there is a pistachio pizza where there's like the pizza, it has prosciutto and then pistachio and then like mozzarella on it. I've never had it. I don't know if I will ever have it, because just visually to me, it does not look good to my taste buds, but I do see it quite often in pizzerias. I see a lot of pizzas with prosciutto on it. Some of the pizzas have potatoes on it. So those to me would be what you would see as your specialty pizzas. So y'all, that concludes kind of my take, my perspective on the food differences here in Italy compared to back home. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please ask them down below. As you all know, I shared with you not too long ago, we are moving to Guam. So again, a lot of my upcoming videos will be a combination of just like vlogs, getting ready to leave, as well as like reflecting on some things when it comes to life here in Italy. And as you know, we plan on moving back in 2 years. So while it is a reflection and kind of a farewell to Italy, it's more of a see you later, not goodbye, because we're coming back. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video below.